Good early evening on Monday, my valued viewers. Yes, it's early evening. I did wrapping. It was Monday. I wrapped about 8 things. I posted them out. I did a little bit of listing. Not a great deal, I've got to say. I was a bit slack today. It rained a lot, so I couldn't really film in here because, it's real loud. And then my next door neighbour, when it stopped raining, decided to start putting shelves up in his shed. Knock with the hammer. Hopefully he's finished now. It's just gone 7. Maybe he's gone in for tea. I don't know. Screenshots of last week's sales. Starting right now. £19.84 for... those lights are still flashing up, aren't they? I'm going to turn them off. There. It leaves one, but it's just reflecting off the white from my shiny head. £19.84. I bought this on Friday before it sold. Sold on the Monday. Sorry, on the Sunday. And it was literally these photographs there. That's it. Plus the one that shows it packed in bubble wrap. Plus the one with the thank you sticker on. Because I'm doing that now. Shows the fact that it's ready to go. And it's got a thank you sticker to remind people that I'm not a corporate entity. £19.84 delivered. That's £4.20, so it's £15.64. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Anyway, that's okay. That was probably an offer actually, down from £18 or something. 500 grams straight away out as a small parcel. Yeah, I bought this on the Friday, listed it immediately because it was real nice, real clean, and it cost me £2 at the charity shop, the cancer research after the gym. Oh, nice. Next, £7.97. Don't make a lot on that, but it did start selling these. I think I sold one last week, did I? I'm not sure, but I sold this one, and it started the ball rolling on these, which was what I was attempting to do with sending offers out. There was a huge promotion on these, I think maybe 8 or 9%, which, if you know me, 2.5 is my go-to. 2.5, 3 at the outside. 8 or 9% is a huge promotion. So it brought it down after fees and postage. I got these cheap in from AliExpress, and they came, I think the first couple came for under £2.30. The next lot were £3.06. Currently in China, AliExpress delivered, these are about 5 or 6 quid. So I'm not buying any right now. I'll wait for the price to fluctuate down again if they do. Otherwise, I'm not competitive, and I like to be competitive, as you know. Anyway, £7.97. That made me about 60p, I think. 14.15. This is the difference between brand new stock and second-hand stock. Sometimes you can make a killing on the second-hand stock, but you can only find one. And so all the effort in the photographs there, yeah, and lining it up and cleaning it and all that, and an individual listing is gone. So you need to be paid for your time. With this, not that one, not even that one. Why have I jumped back? I've jumped one eye. With this, I sell maybe 6 or 7 off the same listing. So, and I didn't even use my own photographs. I put this in, and that was actually already on it. I put this in here. Actually, I think it did say UK plug, but a different writing, and I changed it. So a lot less effort per sale. We'll talk about this one in the meantime, because obviously this was out. I must have missed this one out. Yeah, this is number 3. £16.69. This is again an individual one with lots of artistically taken photographs with a little bit of shade, as you can see. So it was, you know, you can actually see that there's relief in the resin. It's meant to look like carved wood. I mean, it's molded off carved wood. I don't like them, I've told you that. But it's sold for $16.69, which is $12.49 plus postage, plus delivery. And that will have cost me, well, I know what it cost me. It cost me $1.66. I got 3 for £5. Then there's the tape box. That cost me, I got 3 for £1, but that was the most expensive one. It was a nice one. It was a 50p one. And so that's $7.95 plus postage. No, $9.95 plus postage. $4.20 postage. $9.95 plus postage. Again, individual photographs for one item. You've got to make your money worth on it. Here's one that you don't have to make your money's worth because it's a commodity item, but I did make plenty on this. £8, even with the postage off and the fees off. I make about, and the cost of the goods up to £1, I make over £4 on that, on 8, which is 50% of turnover, which is great for a video game. And exactly the same on that, minus plus 4p, whatever the extra 4p was. Yeah. If you can see, they were both single disc and case only, no manual. So they're $1.55 to post. So you make more money. This one cost more to post, cost less to buy. So probably only made about $2.50 on that. Again, another £4. Again with the $7.97. I was building up momentum now. I've sold a couple. I put the promotion down. I put the price up. So the next one was going to make me more money. But I did make a few pence on that. Probably 60p. £4.65. What can I say about that? Not a lot. It didn't cost me much. This was in the big bag for 30 quid. So probably 50p. But at that, you're looking at about £1 in fees, about £2 in delivery. So 165. So made me just over £1 on that one. This is nice. This is out my big bag of out my 6 big bags of cameras. So it cost me nothing effectively. Now everything out of that cost me nothing. $13.99 delivered. I believe the fees on that would be about I don't know, £1.80, maybe £2 or so. £2. Let's call it £2.50, and £3 to post, £7.50. That leaves me £6.50 in profit. This is nice. $28.79 for one game. Well, it's actually 2 games in one case. Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. They're both classic games by the same studio for the PS3. Well, they're both PS2 games actually, but they're remastered into PS3 games with HD and put onto a disc. Obviously, 2 PS2 games are always going to fit on a PS3 disc. 2 PS2 games add up to a maximum of about 10 gigs, and you can get a lot more than that on a Blu-ray. I don't know, 45, 50 gigs on one of these Blu-rays, you know. So you can fit it in, even remastered. But I bought this off Vinted with some of the profits from some of my sales of crap stuff. That's what I'm doing, apart from the shoes last week. By the way, I did get a label for those shoes. They went out. I'm waiting on the 100 quid because it takes, I think, about 15 days without them complaining before you get your money, because it's Vinted. That's what they do with business. It's 2 days without somebody complaining if you're private, and then you get the money within 4 days or something like that. If you are business, they give you 14 days to complain. and then they give you a certain amount of time before they pay you. So anyway, £28.79. This cost me £17 on Vinted. So after the fees, I made about £6.50 after fees and postage. Not huge, but I don't mind that because I didn't have to do anything. I took it out of one bag, I photographed it, I put it into another one. So it's not too bad, and it sold. Well, it was on since July, beginning of July, and it's August now, so it's been under. It's just over a month, or just under a month actually, because this was sold before the end of the month. So it's not bad, really, you know. I did get to play the Shadow of the Colossus as well. I played a chapter through it. It was all right. I'd already played it ICO on the PS2. And this was nice as well. And this has probably made me the biggest profit of the week. £38.95. Cost me a £5 at the Carboot. With the controller, with the documentation. Didn't come with the TV. Didn't sell it with the TV. I mentioned it in the advert that that's there for demonstration, and it didn't have the Blu-ray either. But it was showing that it played a Blu-ray, that it opened and closed. It was 3D, but it wasn't a 3D Blu-ray. And that the remote lit up. Anyway, I got £38.95 delivered, which is like £32.50 plus postage. I think, no, it's £32 plus postage, isn't it? £6.50. Yeah. The guy kept sending me offers for £30 and then waiting 2 days until the offer expired when I declined, and then sending me the same offer again. And eventually, just like I said, I'll accept £32.50, but I'm not going below £32.50. I sent him an offer. Anyway, he declined that, waited another 2 days to save himself 50p and sent me an offer at 32. I'm not saying he's tight, but don't get me wrong, I paid a £5 for it. I'm tight, and I sold it for £32. But that's my business. That's what I do. I cleaned it, I tested it, and made sure everything worked. I didn't factory set it and firmware update it. No. If they want to do that, they can do it. I just checked everything worked and sold it. Yeah. And what you don't see there is a picture of the serial number, and I also put it in the listing. I watched Rummage Around's video about returns today, and one of the things he was going on about was always photograph your serial number, and I agree entirely. Yes, if you're going to sell electronics, find the serial number, photograph the serial number, include it. And he was also saying about making a video with it working. Well, as you can see, my pictures, first 2 pictures show it working. If they were to then say it doesn't work now because it's been delivered badly, it's hard work. Yes, sometimes things go wrong, as happened on Rummage Around's video. So there you go. £7.10. That's these cables again. These cost me 70p each, or 68p or something. I sold 2 at £3.95. They got an offer. They got a discount for buying 2, 10% off. So 79p off £7.90. Well, it came to £7.10. I don't know where the penny goes. A lot of the time that happens with eBay mathematics. The penny just disappears. I don't care. £7.10, but the postage on this is £1.55. The postage on 1 is £1.55. The postage on 2 is £1.55. Postage on 5 is £1.55. Yeah. I think 2 in an envelope with a bit of card to make sure it's nice and flat in a bubble envelope adds up to something like 30 grams. So yeah, I could easily have sent 5 if they'd bought 5, but they didn't. They bought 2. So it adds up to a much better margin for me. The fees are going to be £1 plus VAT. I don't believe there was any promotion on this. It was on promotion, but they didn't click on a promotion, which saves me about 5 or 6% on these, which is, you know, considerable, really. 5% of that is 40 odd pence. 35 pence. 6% is 42 pence, isn't it? So it was a saving there, extra profit rather. An envelope's 5 pence, 1.55, 1.60, and 1.40. £3 to fulfil. What did I say about the fees? About £1 and plus VAT. So what's that? 4.20. It made me nearly £3 on £1.40's worth of stock. It's not too bad. It's not going to make me a killing, but the idea is to bring people into the shop. I've said that to you. The idea is to bring people into the shop, put in graphics, a little graphical promotion strip, top and bottom of the advert, and just in HTML. I was going to, well, I have signed up to this Chinese firm, but I can't really use it for free until another month's gone. So, you know, it's a bit awkward to, I don't want to pay the $7.50 to have up to 2,000 listings and 200 IDs. I don't want to do that, but I could, I suppose. But what I thought I would do was just nick the HTML and use it without the JavaScript. So, yeah. Anyway, there's that. This was nice. I bought this on the video last week at Walkington. Paid £1, sold for £9.99. Now the postage on that was about £3. The fees on that was about £2. I paid £1, I made 4. But it took like, what, 6 shots? Yeah. And one, actually, no. There's 6 shots there. There's a bubble wrap one and one of the thank you sticker. So 8 or 9 shots. That's maximum. And I'm trying to get away from doing 24 shots and everything, especially things like this that are easy. You don't need 24 shots on that. You can see that it doesn't have stickers falling off and no big scratching on it. It's okay. You can see that some of the whites are a bit yellowed, off-white, but it's fine. It's a second-hand Rubik's 4x4x4. Yeah, it actually says 4x4 there, but yeah, nobody's selling 4x4x3s. They do exist. Nintendo Wii power supply. There you go, $8.95. Don't forget, this is free post. You didn't have to worry about the 420 on this, but that would have made the postage, if you included 420 off that, $4.75 for a Wii power supply. Yeah, but this is the competitive price. But the beauty of this is I've got a box full of 5 there. I've got a box full of 5 there. They're all the same. You don't have to change the photographs. I can just relist it. In fact, I listed 10 on the same listing, so I can just leave it running and it will produce more sales without worrying about it. And it will produce sales at that price. Don't forget, most of the Wiis I buy in for like £5 or £6 with everything. Most of them, by the way, most of the time I buy them now, they don't come with a controller because they've sold the controller to CEX. $7.25 for an Unreal Tournament. This one was out of the bag. I got a couple of weeks ago for like a £5. Not the one from last Sunday. There was a Unreal Tournament in that, but the case was damaged. I might leave that in with the knocking. If it gets much louder, I'll edit out again. So yeah, I probably only made £2 or so on that. $8.39 for this one. Same as the last one. Exactly the same. 40 pence more. 40 pence more profit for me, basically. Minus the fees on 40 pence. What's that? Another 10 pence or so. So I made 30 pence more profit. $7.95 for a Rubik's Speed Cube. Now it says here, buyer's note. She actually messaged me ahead of time, which was very nice of her. because it's awkward after time. eBay like you to post by the posted time, and it says post by, dispatch by in your sorts. She messaged me ahead of time and said, would it be all right if you don't post it? If I buy it and you don't post it to a certain time next week? I said, yeah, that'd be fine, but don't buy it yet. Let me change the listing. I went in and I created a special postage, especially for her, with a 10-day delay. She actually wanted it on the 8th, but I put it up to like 10th or 12th because the 8th is the Friday. And she said, not before, because I'm coming back on the 8th. So I said, fine. Anyway, I then messaged her back saying, I've changed the listing. If you buy it now, it'll say that you won't get it for until the 12th or 13th. But I'll post it out on the 8th. And so, yeah, that is held currently, even though it was in last week's sales and she paid last week. I haven't posted it out yet, which is fine. It's there in my diary to post out next Friday. Actually, I put an alarm on my phone to make sure I remember. But there again, I'm going to see it every time I'm posting stuff out all week long. I won't forget. So there you go. There's that. $8.64 for this one. Yes, I put the price up again. This is a penny under. Actually, I think there's $8.69. The other competition that is selling exactly just this and the UK plug. There are people selling these and an option of UK or US or Euro plugs, which seems a bit pointless, but they're doing the options, and I know why they're doing the options, so that they can advertise these at $6.99, but it's $6.99 for just this, because it's multi-listing and you can choose different varieties and variations. This is a variation, and this is a variation, and this and the Euro plug is a variation. So you can have different variations. By the way, the Euro plug version in AliExpress is a lot cheaper. This on its own in AliExpress is obviously a lot cheaper because you're not buying the plug. Currently, they've run out of this variety at AliExpress, but I will be getting some more in. You can buy this separately and you can buy this separately and put them together, but it comes to a lot more money, over a £5. Well, if you're selling it for that and you're posting it out in the UK, how are you going to make any money? You're not. So I'm waiting for them to be back in stock together at a reasonable price. And then I'll be selling any more. And all I have to do is change that number from a 0 to a 1. Because that was the last one out of that lot, I think. 2044, this is the one I bought from last Sunday at Walkington. I showed you it in the bottom of a bag face down. It wasn't a very good picture of it. But there's the silver bit, and there's the lid bit, and those are the lids. It all worked fine. I cleaned it, I photographed it, it's gone. Another game, $4.29. This one, it's off my multi-listing. They didn't get any discount, but it was still dirt cheap. That doesn't leave me a lot. But most of the stuff off the multi-listing are things that are selling for really cheap prices when they're sold individually by private sellers. This is the sort of thing that's going for like $1.75 plus postage. Now, the private sellers, sometimes the postage is like £2.70. So, yeah, it might be the same money. I'm a business, but I can give them discount if they bought more than one, but they didn't. They just bought the one. Okay, fine. These didn't make me much money. Look at the price here. This is another one where really the profit margin doesn't matter too much. You know, the profit margin I think was maybe 50-60 pence. Yeah. These don't cost much at all. I think they're maybe 8 or 9 pence each. So maybe there's like, I don't know, 36-40 pence worth, maybe. Something like that. 36p for the 4. I think they come in 10s, and it was just over £1 for 10. But I'm selling them in 4s. That's one set for them for now and one set for Ron later on. And anybody who can take it apart, their own thumb controller, to replace the thumbsticks would like a pair of spares, why not? They can take it apart once, they can take it apart a second time, eh? 342, 155 to me posted. Sorry, no, 155 posted, 5p for the envelope, 40p. So what we're looking at, £2 delivered to me, and about 70p in fees. £2.70 leaves me, what's that leave me? 72p, roughly. It's a very rough guess, isn't it? 72p on 40p invested. It's not particularly good money, is it? Is it really? But the idea is to get lots of sales on something like this. 10 listings on the same advert. You can sell them over and over, and it also brings interested buyers to your shop. So I can have HTML pictures, top and bottom, using eBay links. I did actually watch a video and comment underneath this video of a guy, I can't remember his name now. I'll put the link below, of his channel, where he's actually talking about doing exactly this thing in HTML. I was going to do it in JavaScript and nick it off the Chinese guys. I told you that, didn't I? Well, not nick it, but do it for free off the Chinese guys. But I might just try out his HTML. My concern is whether you can see it properly when it's done on the phone, because it's all very well desktop, but only maybe 30%, if that, of initial searches are done on the desktop now. And it's getting lower and lower. More and more people use their phone for everything. Lots of people don't even have a laptop anymore. It's a phone or a tablet. And the Chinese ones, it's all seamless. You put in what you want to be in the graphics, and it seamlessly changes between the 3 different or 4 different sizes, depending on whether you're using a mini tablet, a phone, or a desktop. And in fact, it even changes depending on the width of the graphics on the desktop. So it's very good. And of course, it also does updates. So for instance, you put in you want 6 pictures from a particular category, and something runs out in that category and it's no longer being shown on eBay, it shows you 6 different other pictures. And in fact, every time you go to it, it shows you a new selection. Whereas with the HTML, it's static. It's not as good. But you could probably write a script that would update every day your HTML, and then just update all your listings. Yeah, you could do that every day. Use eBay's money. Use eBay's server time. I don't care. Dog eat dog. They let you update every time. They let you update as much as you like. I often update a picture, a listing, as soon as I've listed it, because it doesn't look exactly right when I come and review it. I review it, doesn't look exactly right, I'll update it immediately. That makes sense, doesn't it? And so there's no sort of time limit on updates on eBay. And lots of the Chinese sellers, you must have seen, they're updating the price in real time and stock levels. Yeah. So use their technology. Yeah, why not? I will. But as I said to you, I'm going to have to wait another, it's probably only 2.5 weeks now. Anyway, carrying on. $2.99. This was a mistake. That was the total turnover for this red base piece. It's deep, it's thick. You can see it there, can't you? It's about 2 inches deep, maybe more. I did bubble wrap it. I wrapped it in cardboard rather than putting it in a box to save money, but I had to send that out. It cost me that to send it out. It should have been $4.99. Now, the biggest seller of these Kaplunks and all the parts is selling 5 sticks, £4.50. 5 balls, £4.50. Now I was selling them at £2.99 for the sticks and balls. That's where that price drifted in from. I put it in the wrong category. But the red and green bits, I put them in at £3.99. And then I changed it to £4.99. I do want to sell them at a profit. This one is a loss. It's not just a loss of the costs. It's what it cost me. It cost me nothing because I sold on and made a profit on the rest of it. It was basically what I lost on that was my time, my effort wrapping it, my materials, and my fees. Yeah, so there we are. A purple upset face. I'm not really that upset about it, really, quite honestly. Yeah, there you go. And that was the figure for the week, 292.71. Not brilliant. It was okay. I can't say fairer than that, really. I think that was quite nice. I made about £14 on that, I think. No, maybe 12 after fees. Most of these are small items with very small margins. Yeah, like £5 here, £5 there. That was nice. I made £27 on that after fees. No, £24 out of after fees. Maybe only 23 after fees and buying it in and materials and sending it out. Yeah, because the £6.95 covers all my materials, sending it out, and the label and the fees on all that. And then the £32, the fees on that are in line with it being £32, probably about £33.50 or so. Leaving me 28. It cost me a fiver, £23 profit. £6 on that, despite the high margin turnover. It's one of those things. I was trying for more than that, but I didn't get it, and that's okay. I sent an offer, 5% offer off that, and I think that's what the price was. That was nice. £6 odd profit for nothing, really. This is a fixed focus auto flash, nothing special. Yeah, and then there's some video games. Yeah, that's it. So 25 items, and flashing forward. £292. Not a very good per item average, is it? 24 items, sorry, £292. Not brilliant. Per item. Right, without much ado, or any ado at all, I'm going to tell you what I bought on Sunday. And something else as well. I bought these off Vinted. Memory cards. But these are Microsoft memory sticks. Unfortunately, I tested them yesterday. I got them on Saturday afternoon from the Vinted locker. You know which, it's not a branded Vinted locker, is it? It's well, the postal locker. These are for PSP, Sony PSP. There you go. That one's 32 megabytes. There's 3 or 4 of them. There's some 4 gigabytes. 4 gigabyte. There you go. Shall I focus in? Will it focus in? It will. It will if I take my Visiog off the way. There you are, 4 gigs. And there's a couple of 1 gigs, but there's also a 16 gig. There you go. Yeah. Unfortunately, I came to test them and my testing machine's not working. I don't have any Sony cameras in stock, so I've had to buy, well, I've ordered one for delivery in the next couple of days, testing machine to test these. I can't see that they'll all be faulty. There might be 1 or 2, you never know. somebody's selling this many at once. They probably haven't tested them. They've just collected them up or bought them at a Carboot or something. I don't care. But that cost me £17. Well, the 16 gig will sell for that on its own on eBay. Minus all the fees. Don't forget it's an 85p delivered postage. Well, 85 plus an envelope, 92p or something. Delivered. So we're looking at after fees making about £14, maybe on a £17 item, and that's for the first one, the biggest one, and the rest is all profit. So basically I sell one or two of them, I'm into profit margin. And then the 4 gig ones are a bit cheaper, obviously. The 1 gig ones are that much cheaper than the 4 gig ones, actually. Yeah, they're all branded. So yeah, these should sell nicely. And there's 10 there. So what else did I get? I got them off Vinted over the weekend, as I say. Yeah, so I went to North Cave. Now it had rained. It's rained today. It's been a storm. The weather app tells me that I should be warned that there might be moderate wind. That's what it said. It's a yellow triangle with an exclamation mark in it. And it said, weather warning, moderate wind with rain. I'm like, yeah, all right. This thing about naming summer storms, do you know, it used to be, oh, we're going to have this windy and rainy day, but don't worry about it. It's not a hurricane. Do you remember that one? Michael Fish, was it? Anyway, obviously people had looked at their weather app and decided not to bother. I got there and there was about 10 cars. It was absolutely dismal. Quite nice day at that point. Dry at that point. So, what did I buy? Well, I was looking at the few stores that were there. There was one lady unloading a car, and I saw this on the side. I suppose I got to stand up now, really, but I mean, there's not enough to worry about it. I saw this, and if you know, you know. Had an inkling what this was, because it's like connected chrome, or it is chrome. It needs a right good clean. It's dirty, but I don't think it's very corroded. There's a few marks on it here and there, but it's not corroded, and it's got all its feet because they're meant to sort of stop it rubbing in the carpet. Yeah, because it's indoors. It's a stand. And then she put this next to it. And I spied it and I thought, I know what it is now. And then, yeah, I picked it up and it says Yamaha. So before anybody else saw it, there's a bit of rust there. Before anybody else saw it, I said to her, oh, have you got a keyboard in the car? And she said, oh, yeah, I have, yeah. So I said, oh, I'd really be interested in looking at it, if you don't mind. And she said, yeah, I'll go and get it. She got it out, and here we are. Oh, God. Yamaha. There you go, Yamaha. And it's a YPR9. Really nice. Big. Not. Just hold on a second. I'm going to move this chair. I'm also going to move the phone up. No, it doesn't work like that, does it? Normally, I reset the phone. obviously not in real time. Because I can. And then I stand where the TV is now. So there's the Yamaha. Nice. Not a complicated one with loads and loads of different voices. It's got 5 different voices. Piano 1, piano 2, electric piano, harpsichord and vibes, which is vibrato. It's got a little recording button. It'll record a selection of music up to 700 notes, which isn't a lot. I'm going to tighten it up. There you go. Yeah, so I put batteries in it because I wanted to test the batteries. So no, best if I turn it on, eh? The red light. It has a demonstration, which it's not playing. That's a bit of pain, isn't it? Let me just have a go. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. There we go. Let's try again. Obviously the keys don't go up and down like a pianola. But this is the sort of thing you can get from it. Right, that's enough. So, if you can see that it's not all flashy and there ain't loads of LCDs, and the reason being, this isn't for people who are interested in playing keyboards in bands. This is for people who are interested in playing the piano. It's an electric piano. And that's basically what it is. Let me just scroll that down a little bit now. I don't need to stand to hold anything that big anymore. So yeah, it's an electric piano for people who are serious about the piano. And she included a power supply. Oh, she said to me, I said, how much is it? And she said like 15. And I'm thinking, that's really good value, that. But there's always a risk. And I try to minimise the risk, as you know, that it's not going to work when I get it home. And that it's only going to be worth 12 quid or 15 or 25. I don't want to invest 15 on a £25 item. All the keys work. It's fine. Don't get me wrong. It's playing nicely. It's got a power supply, which actually sells for £10, I've just found out. When I tried to look up the price. It also has a damping key foot pad, Yamaha branded. There you go, which is nice. So that adds to the value of the stuff. And she said, oh, and I suppose you want all the music as well. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So she's giving me all the music books and instruction books and grade 1 and 2 theory, which I've already done myself personally. I was up to grade 5 in piano when I stopped playing. Anyway, complete pianist, piano player, book 1 and 2, some music books, the actual instructions, and theory and exercise book. It's all actually filled in, but it doesn't matter. Convention is they used to fill them in with pencils so you could rub them out and use them again. Most of them are actually done in very light red pen, but never mind. So I said 12, and she's like, I don't know. But she was obviously in the mood for bartering, haggling, I'm doing it myself now. I've watched too many videos with people saying it's bartering. Bartering is when you take a dozen eggs, right? And you try to buy some bacon with your eggs, right? That's bartering. Haggling is when you've got the price and you try to get it to the lower price. And yeah, that's haggling. Anyway, I haggled her down to £13. I saved £2, which is great. And that, you know, £12 for that. It's pretty good. Anyway, somebody's trying to get £99 for one. It doesn't have a stand. It doesn't have a damper pedal. It doesn't have a load of music with it. And I can clean this up so you'll think it's amazing. Because, I mean, yeah, it's dirty and dusty, but, you know, it's not all scratched, which is really nice. So, yeah, that was that. Next, there was... next stall along, I only bought off 2 stalls. A Rubik's Cube for £1. Actually, I think this might be off the same stall. £1. Fine. I mean, it's a speed cube. It's fast. It doesn't say speed. The one I sold to this lady here, it says Rubik's speed. But if you look at the centre, it's got rounded cube. And the same on the interior corners. The outsides are square, but the interior corners are rounded. The original Rubik's Cube, the vintage, the older ones, don't have that. They're a little bit more awkward. And if you remember, if you were working them fast, back in the day when I could do a Rubik's Cube without thinking about it, if you were working them fast, you could pop the corners off. It's just back and ping. These days, they're made better. Even though they look as though they're not. The old ones had stickers and the cheaper ones have stickers. This is why Rubik Cubes still sell the branded ones. These are plastic panels, not stickers. Plus, if you look, you'll see the interior corners are rounded. It's hard to really see it, but they are. Even though it doesn't say Rubik's Speed like that one does. But they do have the more rounded interior corners for speed. And it's a lot smoother moving, actually, than the older ones. They used to sort of clink and clunk, didn't they? Anyway, yeah, £1. Should sell for £7.95 without any issues. Next was a Magic 8 Ball. What does it say? No doubt about it. It is a Magic 8 Ball. However, I paid £1 for this as well, but I didn't know at the time it's falling to bits. It's falling out. I'm going to have to get the super glue on it. Glue it there, into the lid. Glue it there like that so it sits like that. And then a bead of some sort of glue, probably super glue, onto it. Hold it together like that so that it's solid and working. Anyway, it does work. It says, the stars say no. You shake it like that. You wait for the answer to come up to your question. So you ask it, should I carry on for another 10 minutes? And it says, very likely. Well, it's 48 minutes now. That would make it a minute. No. Okay, fair enough. Anyway, that was £1. And I'm not sure what they sell for, but it's a bit of fun, isn't it? Yeah. Next. Gitac multi-tool. Oh, yes. One of these multi-tools. It's nice, actually. It's got pliers and a wire cutter. It's got... you've got to open it like that to get the other things out. Bottle openers. File. Fine. The usual can opener or tin opener, that, and I think that's like the bit for getting the stones out of a horse's hoof, because they always have those in Swiss Army knives, don't they? And then it does have a knife blade, which is fixed, unfortunately, which means they're not legal to carry in the street unless you're willing to do something like, for instance, you're off to working with might need this as a tool. Certainly you can't have it as an everyday carry because it's got a fixed blade which is fixed. You have to press the back to get it to go down. So it's not like something that you can carry around with you. If you're going fishing or camping, no problem at all. There's the bit for taking the scales and de-hooking a fish. They're always popular, aren't they? Bits for de-hooking fish. Well, I mean, it's perfect for fishing. And there's little screwdrivers as well. So it's not bad. The pliers really come in handy, actually, for when you want something and you can't find it. A tool, particularly. Anyway, they were £2. As I say, not a legal carry, but it's all right for around the house, and it's all right if you're off going fishing or something. It's not really my thing, fishing, quite honestly. Camping, I could go camping. I could do that. Next, there was 2 Kodacolor films. Kodak Color. I used to call them Kodacolor. These are Kodak Color Plus. I saw them on the same stall as the G-Tac. And I said to the guy, how much are these? And he was like, £2 each. And he's like, oh, fair enough, mate. Anyway, I went away. I crawled away and looked them up on my phone. And they're like £12.99 for one now. I mean, I've sold films recently, out of date films, etc. But I thought, oh, well, these are looking clean and all that. Anyway, I went back to the stall and I thought maybe he'll accept both of them for £3. And I looked at them, and the date is June 2020. June 2020. Out of date. Don't get me wrong, there's lots of people in the lomography section of the world that want out of date colour film. This isn't really out of date enough to be properly out of date. This is baby steps towards lomography. They use 15-year-old film, you know, and they use like black and white film and develop it with extra grain and things like that to make artistic effects. Anyway, 2020 is probably going to be fine. Maybe the colours might drift a little bit, maybe. Anyway, so I said to them, look, they're out of date. Would you do them for £1 each? And he's like, okay then. So I paid £2 for that. I've already done the listing. I've got to take the photographs tonight. It's just a matter of plonking them on the desk, both together, maybe on top of each other like that in an artistic pose, and taking the photos from all the way around it, including the barcodes and the sell-by dates. Sorry, use-by dates. So if it's got 2020 on it, by the way, it's like they're normally 3 or 4 years ahead. So he's had these since maybe 2016, you know. I'm wondering whether he kept him in the fridge like he meant to for 4 years and then another 5 years. So these have been produced for 9 years. If they've been in a shelf and getting warm, like today's been warm, then yeah, the colour might drift quite considerably over 9 years. Really, when you buy film like this, you should be keeping it in the fridge. Cool and dry, they call it. Obviously, not exposed to light. It's in this box. The bags are normally fairly light tight, but also they're inside a plastic container, which are often light tight anyway. And then there's obviously the cartridge that they come in, the light tight. So it's not really the problem with light, it's the age. It's the time and the age. And if they've been like in a kitchen cupboard above a cooker, you just don't know. You know, if you put them in, say, a drawer in the garage, most garages, that would be fine, cool and dry. This garage is like a sauna in the summer. I mean, literally, it's 80s and 90s. I couldn't leave these in here. When I've photographed these are going to go into a cellophane bag in the fridge. but I don't expect to have them long. They'll sell. I'm going to sell them for half the normal retail price, so £11.99 or £11.75 delivered. So I'll only make a £5 or £6 on them, and that's my lot. I only spent £19. It started raining as it was going to. Obviously, the weather forecast had changed. It decided it was going to go from 25% chance of rain at about 10:30 to 75% chance of rain at 8. And then I looked out and it was like 100% chance of rain because it was raining at just gone 7. It's the way it goes, isn't it? So anyway, I drifted about for a little bit, looked at a few more stalls. There was, by the time I left at about 7:20, there was 12, maybe 15. Could have been 20, I don't know the exact figure. But some of those were traders that normally turn up every week anyway. And they're selling things like flowers. And, there's a guy who does tools and new stock. So, yeah, it was time. And then the rain set in as I was leaving. I thought, I'm not even going to go to Hull. No, that's like 2 weeks in a row I haven't been to Hull. And I haven't missed it, quite honestly. I've got stuff to list, haven't I? I've got loads to list, in fact. This is an afternoon's listing once I've tested. Actually, probably only 2 hours. Because it's the same listing over and over. With just a different number in the title. In fact, I've done 3 of the listings already. They're waiting on my phone. Well, I will use my phone to take the photographs. I'm using this phone now because my little camera, which is fine, my autofocus point and shoot Olympus, it's a fine camera. Don't get me wrong, it's fine for snapshots as well. It's got levels and all that. It's not quite as good for close-ups, such as the lettering on that Rubik's Speed, as the camera is, because you can, as the phone is, because you can get real close. And it's also not as good at square photos. If you do square photos, you don't have to edit them at all. If you're taking them at the right colour temperature and brightness, which I'm trying my best to now, I will adjust the first couple to make sure it's right, and then take 6 or 8 and not edit them at all, which saves loads of time. eBay likes square photos. I know. It's because all their photos, if you look at that and you look at this, they're square. If you take one that's not quite square, it leaves a grey band above and below, or sideways on. Now, obviously, if you've got loads of junk on your desk, like I often have, or you're taking pictures of video games, sometimes you need to crop it, and that's fine. But with things like this, I try to get the full square photo round the item, and then you don't have to edit them at all. It saves loads of time. Yeah. So yeah, these obviously will be done with my camera because it's nice close-ups. Same with this. Easy shots those tonight. I'm keeping that equipment. As I say, it's got that blade. It's the only thing to stop me carrying it around as an everyday carry is it's fixed. It's easy enough to unlock it, but it's a locked blade. The problem is I could put a little notch in the locking mechanism, but it would just flop about then. There wouldn't be anything to hold it. They normally have a little knuckle and spring, so that when they're open, and when you close them, you just press them down on that and they close like a normal penknife. But this you have to press on the back and here. So that's a locking mechanism. And if it's a locking mechanism, they're not legal to carry on an everyday basis. Yeah. And also you can't sell them on eBay. So it was never going to be sold on eBay. I knew that when I bought it. But it's in really nice nick, and it'd be all right to use around. Useful, like it. £2. I'm indulging myself. Hopefully I'll make enough money on that to be able to indulge myself on the others. So yeah. Right, that's your lot. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video. I think it's that way around. By the time it's spun round in the video, it's that way around, isn't it? Yeah, I got loads of likes in the last video for thanking people and encouraging them to like it. So like it again if you can. And I'll come back and tell you about this next week's videos next week. Next week's sales. I've already wrapped half a dozen. I know that there's some good stuff coming up for you to see. So come back and watch that later. Speak to you later.